Welcome to episode 2 of The Truth Hurts, where we expose corrupt politicians and lying corporate media. And we're going to be broadcasting live as the second vote for, the second day, but the fourth vote for Speaker of the House. This is unprecedented. This is a historic event. Joining me today is MAGA Jesse. How you doing, Jesse?
Doing good. It should be very interesting to see what goes on today. I mean, the first day was pretty epic. We got to see 3 votes go down, and Kevin McCarthy was losing the momentum towards the end. So it's going to be very interesting. We'll see which of the holdouts continue to hold out and which of the people will go back to Kevin McCarthy.
All right, I'm going to put my headset on. Dawson, let's go ahead and get the audio. The Congress has started noon Eastern. That's when they adjourn till. Now, a couple things that we're going to be looking out for. I guess the body language of some of these members, should we call them holdouts? It's almost like we're using their talking points. Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go. Gaveling in. Go ahead and switch screens there, Dawson, for us.
The House will be in order.
This is the clerk.
The prayer will be offered by Chaplain Kibben.
That's right. We got a prayer first. So let me quickly plug our Twitter. So we're going to be over there. Twitter handle, The Truth Hurts. That's the Rumble. So on Rumble, we are The Truth Hurts Show. So make sure you subscribe. On Twitter, we are Action_Liberty. Did you throw that up? I didn't see that if you did, Dawson. Action_Liberty. Now that Twitter is pro-free speech, Twitter 2.0, the new Twitter, we decided we'd get on that platform again. So actually, not again. We've never really been on it. So look for Action_Liberty. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to look for body language of the people who are considered holdouts, or basically the people, the voice of the people. That's what they are, right? The voice of the people, Jesse. Mm-hmm. And these are people who are refusing to vote for Kevin McCarthy. All they need is 5. That's it. And there's 20 right now that have not voted for McCarthy as of the third ballot. We do have a spreadsheet. And Jet, do you still have that up by chance? I'm going to start updating this right now. Got to pick a new color. Who would have thought we had this many votes? We'll go with orange this time. So we are on the 4th ballot. And so what we need is 5 total votes against, or for somebody else. I shouldn't say against, but for somebody else. Let's go back to the speaker floor. I don't need you to show the vote right now, Dawson. Let's go back to the U.S. House floor. They're done with the prayer. I mean, this should be basically the first order of business here.
Madam Clerk, I have a point of order that a quorum is not present.
It is a little quiet. Quorum is not present. Okay, so what might be happening right now are Republicans trying to see. So that
right, and that was Stefanik that was making
so it
that
looks
motion.
like the Republicans might not, McCarthy might not have the vote. Maybe it looks like Democrats aren't there either.
Mm-hmm. Right, a lot of empty
so
seats.
yeah, it doesn't look like there's a done deal yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is good, right? We don't want this big compromise sellout deal yet. This is important stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're on Predict It, right? You told me you got money on Predict It.
A little bit.
Who's your money on? Jim Jordan?
You know, my money is against Kevin McCarthy.
That's all it is?
Yep. I just have some money on that Kevin McCarthy will not become the speaker.
And so how much are you up by right now?
Looks like it's increased by about 7-8%.
So what does that mean? Like, you
might just sell it out.
So you're saying you put $100 down and you've already made a 7% return on your money.
That's what it would essentially mean, right?
You can cash out right now on 7%.
I can sell what I own to somebody else for whatever price I want to. So theoretically, yes.
Well, let me give you
And
some,
I- and I
let me
would
give you
cash
some
out-
advice.
And I would cash out at that amount if I hold on to the money until the speaker is decided.
Let me give you some advice.
Sure.
Jesse. 7% return in a year is a good return.
Mm.
In one day, it's really good.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to get on this predicted stuff. I
It's
definitely
pretty
would've done
fun. You know, people should check it out. And I actually even sent it to Dawson if we want to look at where things are at. These are the people who are putting their money where their mouth is. These are the people that, you know, the political junkies like me that are willing to throw a little bit of money onto it and predict how we think things are going to go. And currently on Predicted, Kevin McCarthy is back in the lead as the most likely to win, but Steve Scalise is starting to climb up in the numbers as well.
And there's some developments here. Overnight, we learned that we got a squatter in the speaker's office.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yesterday we talked about this. Politics, I mean, the U.S. Congress, it really is just in many ways WWE or WWF, right? If you're old school like me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there we go. There's the guys labeled holdouts, Biggs and Gates. I don't know who's hiding behind those other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two of the guys that seem to be pretty locked up. Chip Roy be another one. Boebert's another one. Bishop from North Carolina seems to be pretty.
Rosendale, Montana.
Yeah, Rosendale, Montana. So there's at least 5, it seems like, right now. Paulina Luna seems to be pretty strongly against McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
So last night we learned from Matt Gaetz that Kevin McCarthy is in the speaker's office. So it's just like, isn't this all just scripted here, right?
Yeah.
It's just all scripted. Now you see this guy up there in the front talking to the clerk. That's one of McCarthy's people. So he's probably alerting what's going on here. Establishment has a lot of tricks. Okay. All right, so she's going to go back to the podium here. You know, there's actually a mechanism where they can instruct the sergeant at arms to go get the members.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt that's going to be called for by the majority party.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, it's looking like Kevin McCarthy and Steve Scalise are exactly even on Predicted. So
There you go.
that's very interesting. People are thinking it could go either way.
There's McCarthy's guy chatting with the clerk. Fascinating stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Matt Gaetz sends a letter to the architect of the Capitol building going, why is...
Representative Elise Stefanik of New York
Hold on.
called for a
Turn it up a little bit.
count to see if there's a quorum
Okay.
in the House, and they are hand counting members right now. Cheryl Johnson, the clerk of the House, will report on whether or not
So we're obviously getting a stream from C-SPAN, so they're going to add their own commentary in here.
before they proceed with other business, potentially an adjournment.
There's Chip Roy there,
potentially a
and Jim
vote.
Jordan.
So
Chip Roy and Jim Jordan have a
we'll see
conversation.
live
It's
coverage
hidden behind my video camera. You see that, Jesse?
Mm-hmm.
What are they talking about?
Right.
Pretty lively, very animated conversation. So Matt Gaetz sends a letter to the architect of the Capitol asking why is Kevin McCarthy in the speaker's office? Because the speaker's got like this, like, wing, basically, this very nice, prestigious office.
Chair,
Mm-hmm.
351 members, there is a quorum present.
So 351 members. Did they get Democrats not to show up so McCarthy will be the speaker? That's interesting.
The chair counts 351 members, there is a quorum present.
Well, that's a really big deal.
Mm-hmm. And you know the rumor
Hold
is
on, hold
that
on.
McCarthy has been talking with some of the more moderate and conservative Democrats
Hold
to
on,
try
hold
to
on, let me
win
hear
some
it.
of their votes. Oh, here we go.
why this was dangerous. If there is only 351 members, a Democrat could become speaker. Now, how dangerous is that in the grand scheme of things? Not that dangerous, because the majority power is still going to decide what happens, right? They're going to, they have the votes.
Mm-hmm.
So a speaker really, in that sense, would be just a person at the table, and quite frankly, it could be replaced anytime anyhow, because the majority would rule. Anytime the speaker would make a ruling, the majority party could basically overrule the speaker. So it just doesn't seem possible that you would have a effective speaker who's not from the ruling party. But this is interesting. So who isn't? I mean, this is their job,
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows. I know. I don't even work for Congress. I know you're supposed to show up for your job at noon Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
And so what do we have? 434 members, right? 434 members. So what was the quorum? 351? I mean, that's like 70, was that 78? Something like that? 434 divided by 351.
Well, 435.
430. No, there's a Democrat died, so there's only 434
that's
members
right.
right now. It's technically no congressman. So, was that 77 votes? I think I got that right. 77 people. No, I'm way off on that. 351. I can't do math on the fly. Someone in the comment section, give me some math on the fly. There's McCarthy smiling, all happy. See, this is the thing. It's like I really appreciate the conservatives who have stood up and done this, right? Finally, we're shaking up Washington, D.C. It needs to be shaken up. But, yeah, I mean, the establishment has so many tricks. And they aren't afraid to go across the aisle to do this stuff. So, now, the other thing is, well, first of all, Jesse, I can't imagine that many people just didn't show up. There's something behind it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, everything is all a strategy. The amount of people that show up, the way they place their votes, and, they all know what they're doing. So it is interesting that we don't have a quorum right off the bat. The least we could expect of these Congress people is to show up and do their job. So it is interesting. Not sure what the plan is here, but I'm sure there is one.
83 people didn't show up. Here we go. So now we're going to roll call.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Indiana rise?
From Wisconsin. Madam Clerk, I rise to nominate the gentleman from California, Mr. Kevin McCarthy, for Speaker of the House.
The gentleman is recognized.
Okay, so yeah, what's happening here is a complete establishment hit job here. They've found a way to reduce how many people are voting. So it'll be really
Kevin
interesting.
McCarthy is holding his ground too. What that means is
Yeah.
that he's going to continue to run. Some people have been pressuring him to find someone new, and even the establishment. So it's very interesting that he's sticking into it.
Yeah, so my read on this right now, it's a done deal, okay? And the way that's done is people literally didn't show up to do their job,
The gentleman is recognized.
right?
Let's all take a second, take a look around. I know people are getting frustrated. Take a look at this chamber and realize how lucky we are to serve this country in Congress.
Oh, yeah, you guys are really serving us.
Democrats and Republicans to be citizens of the greatest country in the history of the world.
Really serving us.
He's definitely out of order, Madam Clerk. I say that
Morgan Luttrell, by the way, behind the guy's shoulder there. That's Marcus Luttrell's twin brother, Navy SEAL.
But honestly, we find ourselves here
I'm not sure Navy SEALs make great congressmen.
We know we got
Make
work
great
to do,
operators, by the
but
way.
in some ways, there's no place.
Seems like he's
I'd rather
pretty
be.
much
The possible
in
exception
line
is
here with
Sunday,
the
no
McCarthy
place
faction.
I'd rather be. But maybe with the excitement, some of you hadn't had an opportunity to check what's happening online. Let me fill you in, or what's happening on Twitter, what the press is writing about. In some ways, they're salivating. There's headlines about the chaos, this and that. Yesterday, our colleagues on the other side of the aisle were tweeting their bags of popcorn that they had out. They love it. The schadenfreude is palpable. But I think my friends on the Democratic side misunderstand.
I'm so sick of these
Sure.
phonies calling people friends that they're really not friends with, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I think she is actually friends with Kevin McCarthy. We'll see what's going
No,
on.
no,
with
she
that,
was saying
but,
my friend Matt Gates, my
Oh.
friend Boebert. You know, it's like, oh god.
Yeah, I don't think her and Boebert are friends. I would think that her and Gates still get along pretty good. Just different views on this one.
The president's not in charge. The Supreme Court's not in charge. Speaker of the House is not even in charge. The American people.
So the question is, there are still 83 members who did not show up for work today. What the heck do they got going on?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the fact that they're moving forward with this vote means that Republicans definitely have the votes. They wouldn't push forward if it was Democrats holding up.
Right.
Invites different views. That isn't afraid of that. Now I listen to some of my colleagues.
So essentially what McCarthy did is he went over to the Democrats last night and goes, what do you guys need? I need you to have members not show up. So there you go. These members didn't show up.
Pro-regular order crusades. I understand. I know that his intentions are pure. I know a lot of people are just frustrated with the way Congress works. But, and you know I believe that in my bones, nobody has done more to lay out a plan for how we restore the basic functioning of this institution than Kevin McCarthy. Nobody.
So in other words, if it's 351, it's 176 votes that's needed for speaker. Now,
Now you may not have gotten everything you wanted. There are things
it's noteworthy to say that Jeffries did get 212 votes yesterday. McCarthy got 203. So both have gotten to that level, but there's no way the Republicans are doing this if the Democrats were all there and Republicans were the ones that didn't have it. It could be a mixture of both, right? And they're literally, you should have cameras out there in the hallways because they probably have congressmen waiting to get in, you know, in case they're needed. Democrats want to play a trick. This actually just exposes, in my opinion, the uniparty, Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they would actually orchestrate this deal. I love it, Dawson. You're like, holy crap, this is how it works, huh? They would have cut a deal with the Democrats. Who knows what the heck they got? I think we should know. I think the American people should know what deal they got with Democrats so they don't show up to vote.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, you need a majority of the body that's there. And so 83 people not being there means the threshold to become speaker is much more attainable for McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just amazed that they don't get penalized for not showing up to work
Right.
when it comes to something this big.
Yep.
Mark Anderson on Facebook, not Mark Johnson, Mark Anderson, said, he just said the American people are in charge. So how is the border issue going for us Americans? And that's exactly right. You know, I'm not sure we can trust the establishment on that issue.
Right. American people aren't winning today.
What will be interesting to see is if they choose to nominate Jim Jordan or if they decide to nominate Andy Biggs or somebody else.
Yeah,
as the,
I think they'll still
opposition.
go Jim Jordan, but
Could be.
the hit job's on. It's in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Republican caucus who want to do the work of the people. Mr. McCarthy is not asking you to endorse business as usual in the House. He's laid out a plan.
I don't trust this guy,
to
Jesse.
the House of
It's Mike Gallagher, dude.
And
Mhm.
once again,
Not to be confused with the radio show host
an
Mike
institution that
Gallagher.
we incredibly look ourselves in the mirror and say, we are working in the people's house. For that and many other reasons, I nominate Kevin McCarthy.
I want to apologize on the behalf of C-SPAN because their volume is so quiet. I have to blast
Oh,
it up.
I thought that was just for me. Are they
No.
not getting much audio?
No.
Oh,
their
I'm
YouTube
sorry,
channel
guys.
is getting messed up.
Yeah.
People can hear it, but it's like super faint.
Okay.
For what purpose does the gentleman from California rise?
Madam Clerk, I rise to nominate Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker of this House.
Here are the Democrats doing the same exact thing.
Okay, yeah, you can see it's not light on the Republican side. So, the people that didn't... unless... I mean, now it looks like a full chamber.
Mm-hmm. It does look pretty full.
The gentleman
Is it split up? Republican, Democrat?
I'm going to take
left,
these
right?
off for now. Is it what?
Is it split up? Democrat?
Yeah,
Republican?
Democrats are on the...
I don't think there's technically...
Democrats are on the right from the speaker's view.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely on the left from the political view.
Yeah.
But they're on the right side, then the Republicans on the left
Right
side.
now, I don't think there's actually assigned seating within the House, but it all happens pretty naturally. The people sit with their own party.
Right. Yeah, it's not like Minnesota. They got desks, and you don't have to be with the party. It's just generally how it goes. You want to kind of be surrounded by your own people.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting that Aguilera is the only one that wants to recommend and give a speech for Hakeem Jeffries.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I saw this interesting thing this morning. You know, the Democrats are always about, we got to save our democracy. We're for democracy.
Mm-hmm.
And the Republicans, of course, are for authoritarianism. It's like, you know, you're seeing democracy on full display in the Republican ranks. They're actually having real votes. These guys are all allied. They're taking the party boss's pick.
Yeah.
Oh, we all vote for Hakeem Jeffries. You're saying Hakeem Jeffries really has the support of every single Democrat?
No way.
From moderate to the Ilhan Omars, the squad members. So are they done with the speech? They're done with the speach.
Yes, a new nomination.
here we
should
go.
Come up.
purpose does the
Here we
gentleman
go.
from Texas rise?
Chip Roy probably.
Place nomination for Speaker.
There you go.
The gentleman is recognized.
Chip Roy.
Yesterday,
It's a good speech, I bet.
my first vote for Speaker of the House was for Byron Donalds. Today, I'm rising to nominate Byron Donalds for Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Wow. And Byron Donalds was the last one to flip.
Byron is a dear friend.
First black Republican to be nominated. Actually, has there been a black
Most importantly,
Speaker of the House? I don't think there has
a
been.
man who loves
Chip Roy is super woke.
wife Erica,
Yeah.
his 3 children, has a proven track record as a businessman, public service in the Florida legislature, and now as a member of the United States Congress. Now, here we are, and for the first time in history, there have been 2 black Americans placed into the nomination for Speaker of the House.
A little identity politics. Ooh, look at those Republicans not clapping.
Yeah.
Oh,
Matt
there you
Gaetz
go.
is telling people to stand up. Come on.
Oh, don't tell me that's their moral victory. They've caved already, but let's get a moral victory here. This is pointless, guys.
However, Madam Speaker, order. Madam Clerk, order. We do not seek to judge people by the color of their skin, but rather the content of their character.
Oh, what'd you do to the volume? Oh, look at that. We got some new audio equipment, by the way, so yeah, it might have been the
Another
reason it was so
standing
quiet.
ovation.
I'm hoping this isn't the case, but if they fix their audio at some point here, it's gonna get
Donalds
really loud. For
Oh,
everybody.
raised
gotcha.
by a single mom who moved past adversity, became a Christian man at the age of 21, and has devoted his life to advancing the cause for his family and for this country. And he has done it admirably. But there's an important reason for nominating Byron, and that is
This country needs a change. This country needs leadership that does not reflect this city, this town that is badly broken.
One might call it the swamp, right?
Yep.
And that's what McCarthy is.
The House of Representatives is the people's house. It represents the entirety of our country, and we each represent some 750,000 people. And we come here, and here we sit in a room filled with those representatives. And my friend, Mr. Gallagher, and he is my friend, I agree with him on many things. And I agree with almost everything that you were talking about. But we should be in here having this kind of a conversation with this many people in the room about Ukraine. And we should debate the merits, and we should debate the ups and downs of being involved. We should debate the $45 billion. We should debate whether it should be more or less. We should debate whether it should be paid for. We should debate what the result we should demand. The only way you're going to get that is if you change the rules and have the leadership to advance the rules to make sure that we can do that. Now, we've had a conversation for 2 months to try to advance the ball, and we have had success in doing that. But we're not there. We're not at the place where we need to be to guarantee that we're going to be able to stand up in the face of the swamp that continues to step over the American people on a daily basis and spend money we don't have, and to continue to leave our borders open, and to continue to fund bureaucrats that are stepping over the freedoms of the American people. Byron will stand up and do that.
I really like Chip. He's a good speaker. Kind of want him to be Speaker of the House.
Byron has a track record of doing that.
Now, is Byron going to vote for himself? That's the question.
Yeah, he's standing up, you know, taking the applause. So,
wow, I mean, how much of an
on
honor is it to be
right?
Have these good words spoken of you on the House floor?
Support the status quo? Yes or no? Do you think that the American people want us to continue down the road of what we've been doing? Do they want us to continue to do the things since the leadership that's currently in place have been in place? Do you think they want us to continue down that path? And the argument that I would make is that they want a new face, new vision, new leadership, and I believe that face, vision, and new leadership is Byron Donalds, and I'm proud to put his name into nomination, and I yield back.
I mean, look how petty this is. It seems like Byron Donalds is loved by a lot of people, and they won't even clap. Just clap for the guy.
The reading clerk will call the roll.
All right, so what's interesting is it looks like there is still the 5+ vote faction. It just, did those 83 people come in the chamber? It looks to me like they probably came in the chamber. I was off on this hit job. But when they initially read the amount of people in there, was 351. I do see a lot of now people leaving, but that could be just. There are a bunch of empty seats in the middle there.
Yeah, I'm noticing that too.
So Andy Biggs would be the first one we would expect.
Mark Anderson said the glares of the GOP reps in the background is hilarious, and it is. Byron Donalds is a very interesting choice by Chip Roy, and it's definitely making some people unhappy.
Allen. McCarthy.
Why they don't have a little ticker on?
Allred.
There we go.
Jeffries.
They probably had to.
Yeah, they had to.
They probably added it to Donalds. They're like, "Oh, I didn't know this was coming."
Yeah, they thought another Jordan was coming.
Armstrong.
So we aren't expecting any Donalds votes in the A's. So the first we'll get to is probably Biggs and B.
McCarthy.
The other thing that we're going to be looking for is if there's a non-voting member.
Babin. McCarthy. Bacon. McCarthy.
And I want you to understand, if there are a bunch of people not voting,
McCarthy.
that's McCarthy going to the Democrats, saying, "What do you want?"
McCarthy.
I want to be Speaker of the House.
Ballots.
And he just delivered something to Democrats,
Jeffries.
basically exposing himself for what these
Banks.
20 people have
McCarthy.
been adamant about. Is this guy's a sellout? He's a Washington, D.C. insider. I don't know how anyone could say he's not a Washington
Better
insider.
Jeffries.
There is another option. Democrats could
Bean
switch
of
and vote
Florida.
for McCarthy, but why would they do that?
McCarthy. Beatty. Jeffries. Bentz. McCarthy. Barra.
It'll go Biggs and then
Jeffries.
Bishop. Bishop of North Carolina, that is.
Bergman.
Dan Bishop.
McCarthy. Byer. Jeffries. Bice.
And I
McCarthy.
can't imagine Biggs isn't going to stay.
Biggs.
There you go.
Donalds.
No, Dan Bishop of North Carolina would be the next one. So there's 20 people. Last night, the
Bill
establishment
O'Reilly's.
could offer deals to
McCarthy.
a significant portion of them.
Bishop of Georgia. Jeffries.
So Bishop, this is the next one. That'll be interesting.
Bishop of North Carolina.
Donald's okay.
Donalds.
So they seem Boebert
Wow.
would be the next one,
Yep.
which would seem a safe bet.
Blumenauer. Jeffries.
It looks like the Democrats have
Blunt
everybody there.
Rochester. Jeffries.
So maybe they were
Boebert.
just have. There you go.
Donalds.
And then we have Josh Brasheen. That'd be the next Donald's vote.
Bonamici. Jeffries. Bast. McCarthy. Bowman. Jeffries. Boyle of Pennsylvania. Jeffries. Burkeen. Donalds.
Oh, sorry, I'm spacing out there. So
Brown.
Donald's. Burkeen did vote the same way.
Brownlee. Jeffries.
Got to remind myself I'm actually live.
Buchanan.
Yep.
McCarthy.
Oh, jeez. All right, so Michael Cloud would be the next one. So
Bouchon.
before we get to Michael Cloud,
McCarthy.
if Donald's gets any other votes,
Budzinski.
that would be a shocker, right? That'd be gaining votes.
McCarthy.
And if you're just tuning in, what we initially got was a roll call of 351 present legislators, and I thought
Bush.
for a second there that there was a hit job in that. Well, see, there's a lot of vacant seats there,
McCarthy.
but the fact that there hasn't been a single not
Kamek.
present person
McCarthy.
makes me think everyone is in there at this point.
Jeffries.
But that would be the other way to
Jeffries.
make this happen.
Cardenas. Jeffries.
Congressmen don't stay inside the chambers at all times, just FYI. So that could have just been a big misread by me. But I was thinking for a second there that was the hit job.
McCarthy. Carson. Jeffries. Carter of Georgia. McCarthy.
So Michael
Carter
Cloud,
of Louisiana.
if Michael Cloud votes Donalds, that's the 5, and McCarthy won't be speaker on this vote.
Jeffries.
And so it begs the question,
Carter
why
of Texas.
why did the McCarthy people bring forward the vote?
Cartwright. Jeffries. Kassar. Jeffries. Case. Jeffries.
So we'll go Michael Cloud, then
Caston.
Andrew Clyde, then Eli Crane.
Jeffries.
At this point, you have Matt Gates.
Castor
That would be
of
the
Florida.
5th vote. He hasn't voted yet.
Jeffries.
I feel like Gates is the most
Castro of
reliable
Texas.
vote against McCarthy at this point, right?
Jeffries.
Jesse, is that your read?
Yeah, no, he's got a lot of
Chavez
personal
DeRima.
tension with him, so I don't ever see a scenario where Matt Gates is voting for
McCormick.
Kevin McCarthy.
Jeffries. Chu.
And if you were
Jeffries.
following yesterday, you don't want it to be just on
Cicilline.
5 because someone can change their vote.
Jeffries.
So you want to see a little cushion room. Quite frankly, you want to
Cicilline.
see no loss of momentum. You want to see all the 20s still reliably
Clark of
vote the same way.
Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffries. Clark of New York. Jeffries. Cleaver. Jeffries.
So we're coming up to Cloud.
Klein.
He's after Klein, I believe.
McCarthy. Cloud. Donalds.
Okay, there you go. That's the 5. That's why you get a little clap. Andrew Clyde will be the next. He's on the backside.
Clyburn. Jeffries.
I mean, Clyde will be the next one that possibly votes down.
Clyde. Donalds.
Yeah, there you go. So you got a little cushion room, 6. Eli Crane. You can hear some talking. You realize it. I mean, honestly, I don't know. Why did they bring up the vote?
Jeffries.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe there's going to be some momentum shifted. We'll see if all 20 of them stick with it, but
Collins. McCarthy. Comer. McCarthy. Connolly. Jeffries. Correa.
The big question is, how's Byron Donalds going to vote?
Costa.
and he was the last one to flip.
I mean,
so-
at this point, because
Jeffries.
McCarthy can't get the votes,
Craig.
which was his rationale,
Jeffries. Crane. Donalds.
maybe he votes for Jim Jordan's.
Mhm.
Crawford. McCarthy. Crenshaw. McCarthy. Crockett.
Yeah, Dan Crenshaw, he's a big one supporting Kevin McCarthy.
Jeffries. Cuellar. Jeffries. Curtis. McCarthy. Davids of Kansas.
Yeah, and they also just showed Henry Cuellar, who is the pro-life Democrat out of Texas, who
McCarthy.
people say that he's been in talks with Kevin
Davis of
McCarthy to switch
Illinois.
parties and get his support for Speaker. So we'll see if there's any Democrats like that ever flip. But as of now, he hasn't.
And that only matters if there's,
Dean of Pennsylvania.
only 5.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Jeffries.
At this point, it's not that way.
DeGette. Jeffries. De La Cruz.
De La Cruz.
McCarthy.
So
DeLauro.
Byron Donalds, that's the big question. How will Byron Donalds
Jeffries.
vote? Will it be for himself or
Delvene.
Kevin McCarthy?
Jeffries.
If he votes for McCarthy, it
DeLuzio.
means McCarthy gains momentum today.
Yeah.
Desaulnier. Jeffries. Desjardins.
It is actually interesting when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
D'Esposito. McCarthy. Diaz-Balart. McCarthy. Dingle. Jeffries. Doggett.
I'm sure the camera's ready to go on Donalds.
Donalds.
Yep.
Donalds.
All right.
All right, we got another interesting day. I'm going to take the headset off here. So we'll just kind of monitor this. Matt Gaetz will be the next. That'll be a reliable Donalds vote. So you're actually seeing something really, I mean, it's historic. It was already historic yesterday. It hasn't been since 1923 where there's been multiple ballots. I think there was 8 in 1923.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go back to 1856 before the Civil War when there was actually 2 months. 2 months it took him to get a Speaker of the House, which honestly would be wonderful. Think how much money taxpayers would save if Congress can't do anything. And just before you think there's going to be some big government shutdown, most of Washington, D.C. is on autopilot. And it's on autopilot because guys like Kevin McCarthy, right? So let's talk about, there was Emmer.
Yep.
Rhino Emmer, the majority. Apparently not doing his job well enough.
Right, but, the thing is, if Kevin McCarthy goes, some people are saying that just means that the Republican leadership is each going to continue to go up the next rank, and that means that Tom Emmer would then be, the majority leader?
I mean, you would think Kevin McCarthy would just switch places with Scalise. That's the way I would see it happen.
Maybe, but that's not what everybody's saying, but we'll see.
Yeah, but it's not like...
And Tom Emmer doesn't
first of all,
deserve a
Kevin
promotion.
McCarthy has the votes to be majority leader, right? Because the conference decides who the majority leader is, and they just need you would assume a strict majority. I don't know how the intra-conference rules work, because there's really no law that regulates that.
Right.
The conference says this is who we have as our majority leader. And all these people. So one of the funny things that I've been watching is the Fox News reaction to all this stuff.
Yeah.
Other than Tucker Carlson, Tucker is the only thing, in my opinion, like worth watching. Other than
and there was just Finstead and Fishbach, so Fishbach, so both McCarthy.
They're not changing.
No
their
changing.
votes.
Yep.
Your boy though, Donald Trump, going in big for Kevin McCarthy. You got to trust me. Kevin McCarthy's good.
What Trump said was that Kevin McCarthy will be a good speaker, perhaps even great, which could be the case. Kevin McCarthy is going to be better than Boehner. He's going to be better than Paul Ryan. So
I don't know if that's true.
I think it is. He's already had to concede so much to the conservatives, and him and Marjorie Taylor Greene, he's earning the support of good faith people. Thomas Massey as well. Thomas Massey is supposed to be the Liberty guy, and here he is backing Kevin McCarthy. So there's some inside information that we're not privy to, I imagine.
I'm sure there's lots of inside information we're not privy to. What's fascinating to me about all this thing is it's like the talking points, which are just so easy to tear down. All these talking points. And Fox News is basically, all right, establishment, what should we be talking about? How should we be backing Mike McCarthy? There's no good journalism here. There's Matt Gaetz, obviously going to be a Donald's vote. I don't have my earphones on, but that one's obviously. And then Bob Good too. He'll come up here, and Gosser will. There's the guy that gave the speech for McCarthy. It's just fascinating to me that they would have brought this vote. Did they? My thought is the establishment getting a bad read on these guys? Do they just think they'll cave under pressure? And that's part of the thing is that they got Fox News doing their work for them. If you watch, let's see. Ingram had Chip Roy on. It's so obnoxious to watch them. Like they don't understand it. They act like the world is collapsing because they're actually standing up and doing a democratic thing. That's the other thing is it's very democratic what's going on in the House floor right now. People are actually voicing their opinion. It's like funny the Democrats, they're the ones for democracy. No, they're not. They're for authoritarianism. This is what the party bosses say. We want Hakeem Jeffries. They're all aligned on Hakeem Jeffries. Republicans say, the Republican establishment goes, you get on board, it's McCarthy. And they're like, no, we're not going to do that. And according to Matt Gaetz last night and Boebert, Lauren Boebert, they've been threatened by McCarthy to be taken off their committees. So, and this is something we've seen over the years.
Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying that they were going in, that it was Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert and somebody else. I can't remember if it was Andy Biggs or who it was, but she said that the three people were going into Kevin McCarthy's office demanding subcommittee leadership and demanding what committees they get to be on. Which it's an interesting tactic, but that's where Marjorie Taylor Greene had an issue with it.
And I don't know if the speaker, there's Gosser. So Donald's has gotten both Good and is it Gosser or Gosser? I always get that.
I think Gosser.
I think it's Gosar. Yeah.
Yeah, Gosar.
We don't follow Washington D.C. politics too much for this very reason, because it's usually just a show. This is why McCarthy is actually squatting right now in the speaker's office. There is no speaker of the House right now. Why is Kevin McCarthy using that office?
Right.
That's so crazy. Matt Gaetz in his letters, like, at what point do we consider him a squatter? I don't know. Like now, he's not the Speaker of the House.
Right.
There is no Speaker of the House. And shouldn't Jeffries be in there? Jeffries has the majority of the vote, or the most votes.
Yeah, he's got
Why
more
isn't
votes.
Jeffries going in there?
Yeah, Patrick Dennis on Facebook just said Fishbach, Emmer, and Finstead are all voting for spineless sellout Kevin McCarthy. Is Minnesota paying attention? We certainly hope so. And we'll see how Stauber goes as well. So to round out Minnesota votes.
I think we know how those are going to go.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, it's the same vote as yesterday. We are halfway to the 20 votes, basically anti-McCarthy votes. And next up is Andy Harris.
Green of Georgia.
Oh, there you go, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Griffin.
Nice ally for McCarthy. She's so mad. She's a child. Look at her.
Oh, come on.
She's a child.
She's a good lady.
She's just doing what Trump says to do. We're going to show you the Trump's truce in a bit here. Next up will be Harris. And then Paulina Luna. So it looks like, yeah, they've been pretty disciplined.
And that's interesting. Harriet Hageman, the person who defeated Liz Cheney for the U.S. House. She was supposed to be this America First warrior. Here she is voting for Kevin McCarthy, so that's also an interesting development.
So Harris stayed with Donald's. There you go. You got to love C-SPAN. They all have this all queued up. So Paulina Luna will be the next, followed by Mary Miller. Pull up, Dawson, can you put the Trump's, I always want to say tweets. And this is the genius of Truth Social. Because now you got to say, why don't you pull up Donald Trump's truth?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. We should force all politicians to be on the live platform, right? Not that one. Go to the other long one. He had a real short one, too. Some really good conversations took place last night, and it's now time for all of us all great Republican House members to vote for Kevin and close the deal, take the victory, and watch crazy Nancy Pelosi fly back home to very broken California, the only speaker in U.S. history, da-da-da-da-da. Kevin McCarthy will do a good job, and maybe, I think it's cut off on the screen, I think it says, and maybe a great job. Just wait and see. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
So, totally endorsed by Donald Trump. Total endorsement. I don't know how you square that away in your head there, Jesse. Then watch
Kevin McCarthy is loyal to Trump, and that's what Trump expects more than anything else. Trump isn't a policy nerd. Trump is just the type of guy that says, is Kevin loyal to me? Kevin isn't going to turn his back on me. So,
oh, man, you're so wrong.
There is loyalty there. And,
okay, so I'm glad you bring that up because that's probably the calculation Trump's making. You don't think Kevin McCarthy, a Washington insider, is going to turn his back on you the first time it makes sense to do it? He will. He clearly will. In fact, wasn't McCarthy the guy that they had audio of saying that Trump was a Russian asset?
I don't know about that, but you know what I do know
I
is
think that happened.
Trump very rarely sides with the establishment. It's very rare that we see that happen.
I'm glad you brought that up. Go bring up that other truth. No, yeah, the other long one. That's a short one. Trump says, if Republicans are going to fight, we ought to be fighting Mitch McConnell and his domineering, China-loving boss, wife, Coco Chow. The harm they have done to the Republican Party is incalculable. Today, he couldn't be elected dog catcher in Kentucky. Sadly, he won because of my endorsement. Went up 21 points. Sorry. All right. So apparently he likes endorsing the establishment there, Jesse. And isn't this perfect reason why we shouldn't trust your endorsement? Because you endorsed Mitch McConnell. Like, this total disaster. Oh, he didn't know. He trusted McConnell was going to change after many years. No, you didn't. Let's just be honest. Trump actually doesn't want to drain the swamp. Go back to the live.
No. Trump, of course, wants to drain the swamp. And
how's he drain the swamp? He's supporting
the
swamp.
There was nobody to challenge Mitch McConnell. There was nobody with real name recognition that could have actually done it in Kentucky that time around. And
but
he
you
doesn't
don't
like to back
endorse.
losers.
You don't endorse McConnell. Then you stay out of the race.
You don't endorse the Democrat. That's what he's saying.
You don't have
we
to endorse
the
anyone.
Democrat.
That's the problem. You just stay out of the race.
There was a lot of momentum shifting towards this Democrat in the Kentucky U.S. Senate race, and she was posing herself as a Trump Democrat, and then we find out that she's really a Trump hater this whole time.
Yeah, don't endorse so then your endorsements are phony. That's what you're saying. Do you endorse somebody because you believe in that person, or are you just being phony? That's the problem I have with politics.
He supported McConnell more than the Democrat. That's what the endorsement meant in that one. And he's been completely honest that we need to have some change in leadership in the Senate. And Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy are not the same person. There is a big difference, and Kevin McCarthy is a lot better than Mitch McConnell.
Well, you know, the lesser of two evils is still evil, right?
Well, what are we supposed to do when the election in Kentucky is between a Democrat and Republican?
Yeah, well, it's not for Trump to weigh in on. I mean, if people really care about his endorsement. But see, he's regretting the endorsement of Mitch McConnell, and here he is endorsing Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy's going to sell you out really quick, and it's already happening. Obviously, there's a bunch of MAGA people in the U.S. Congress that are not taking their orders from Donald Trump, clearly, right? Mm-hmm. And this is, the media loves this, is that Donald Trump's grip on the Republican Party is slipping. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at all these losses. And it's pretty clear, these people don't care how or what he says. The next one is going to be Paulina Luna, so we're waiting to get to the L's here.
Yeah, Mark Anderson said, same day, different, same crap, different day. Time to go hit some balls on the driving range. Have fun. So
yeah, well,
that sounds pretty
Mark's
good, Mark.
down in Florida. That's why he's saying that, because you ain't hitting any balls up here in Minnesota.
Yeah, not happening.
I'm glad you came in to work, by the way, or came in here because what's that, Dawson?
Mike Schmidt pipes in from YouTube and says, "I agree. Trump made a huge mistake for McConnell and for McCarthy."
Yeah, like you can't go around saying you're draining the swamp, and then just basically endorse the swamp creatures. Can anyone make a rational argument that Kevin McCarthy is not a swamp creature? Like, that is, when you look it up in the dictionary, that's what you get. It's Kevin McCarthy. So, all right, here we go. Paulina Luna. So we're in the L's already. That'd be the next one. I think she's pretty strong here.
Yeah, we'll see.
But you would think this would be one of the people they were putting the works on, You see, there's a bunch of empty seats, but that might mean nothing. See, like this character right there is probably going back out to the halls. Some people want to go get
and here's
press.
William Beck. Don't forget Trump endorsed Mitt Romney for U.S. Senate. And that's actually true, too. And I was working on the campaign against Mitt Romney in the Republican primary in Utah for that one.
Totally forgot that. Great point, William Beck. Although that'll be the last comment we read of William, because if he won't leave his driveway, he doesn't get a voice on this show. Actually, I take that back. He fair play any time he challenges you.
But, like I was saying, Trump very rarely goes with the establishment. It's only in specific certain situations, like when Alabama, when the Roy Moore situation happened where, the Republicans end up losing Alabama in the U.S. Senate race.
So you said he rarely goes with the establishment. You just gave those are 4 examples right there.
And
then how about
the million other things he does every day that are anti-establishment.
Michelle Fischbach, there's another one. Most people don't know that. Minnesota, it's different.
Well, if Thomas Massey is your hero, he's not doing too great either.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with Massey. I guess he thinks this isn't his fight, but it's an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I have no skin in the game at this point. There's one congressman I really appreciated. Very principled, seems like consistent record. I don't see these people anymore.
Patrick Dennis said, we need a solid, viable third option in Congress and in the Senate. Left and right wing are of the same bird. It's a uniparty of Republicrats. It's time for a change. Way of the Timberwolf. And, I wish that we had a system where we could, theoretically get a real third party conservative constitutionalist, but just doesn't seem likely.
Let's go back to audio here. Luna's coming up.
Luke Kamaya. McCarthy. Luna. Donald.
There you go. Staying true.
Yep.
Mary Miller will be the next one. And then followed by Ralph Norman, Andy Ogues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's I mean, 13's a statement. And it doesn't look like this 351 that were originally present. Members were just on hall. I thought. Did you think that? Is that just me? I thought they had the hit job.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I thought something was in the works, but
because that could have been what McCarthy did. Is he goes to the Democrats, I need a bunch of members not to show up because obviously they're not going to start voting for me, so they can save face. I need them not to show up. What do you get? And you got to imagine if you're Jeffries, you're loving this whole show, right? Mm-hmm. Here's the other thing: the Fox News people that are just using the McCarthy talking points, they're acting like this is the walls are caving in. Oh my God, we can't get a speaker. It's an embarrassment. It's not an embarrassment. It's freaking democracy. This is how things work. Right? Mm-hmm. It's actually more embarrassing. It should be more embarrassing to people. People should be more outraged when there's just unanimous votes for a swamp creature like Kevin McCarthy and no dissent. You should be far more outraged than that. He doesn't look too happy there, does he?
No,
Guy next to him, his handler,
trying
not
to,
very happy.
Yeah, he's pretending.
Like, what did they think they were going to get the vote? What were they doing?
Mm-hmm.
They think the Trump truth was going to do it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Trump, the master troll, just, it would be great theater if Trump just posts, Byron Donalds is a much better choice.
Yeah, well, you know, Trump said that he was actually happy that there was this debate going on. He thinks it's healthy. So, you know, Trump isn't against people being able to vote for their conscience, you know. He's just saying that Kevin is a guy who he gets along with, and that's what it comes down to sometimes, if you can get along with someone, if you can, you know, like business. So.
Right. I still don't know what the big loss is here for America, right?
Yeah.
If Congress doesn't meet, we can't spend trillions more dollars we don't have. We can't keep funding Ukraine. What are we losing on this deal? Now, granted, and one of the talking points Fox News is glad to carry for him is McCarthy's going to investigate the Biden family, and McCarthy's going to, it's like, no, anyone on the Republican side is going to do that. What are you talking about? You don't need McCarthy to get that done. But until that doesn't happen until, obviously, Congress is back in session. So at some point, we hope McCarthy just steps down. There's Miller stays with Donalds. There you go. So at some point, he steps down. This is the other great talking point. I heard Brett Baird do this on Fox News. Laura Ingraham. Who do you have that has the votes? They keep going. This is the talking point. And this is your gal, Marjorie Taylor Greene. They don't have the votes. They have no one that can get the votes. I go, but neither does McCarthy. Like, they just believe McCarthy has earned this job. And this is the other thing they talk about. Who was saying this? They go, you don't understand. Kevin McCarthy was making phone calls. He raising money, doing all this stuff. He's earned the position. Isn't that the problem with D.C.? Is they're earning these positions from fundraising? They just openly say this stuff like he should be the Speaker of the House. He should set the agenda because he's good at fundraising. Like, what are you talking about?
Right, and they also say that he won the conference committee vote, you know, by a wide margin against Andy Biggs, but that doesn't stop the fact that there's people out there that wanted Andy Biggs to be the Speaker and also the leader of their the GOP House. It's just interesting.
Well, the thing that just gets me is when they go, oh, well, who do you have that has the votes? We don't have anyone, and neither do you. So we better go figure it out. But McCarthy does not have the votes. So we're at a standstill here. Boy, I'm glad they didn't pull that hit job, though. I mean, I think we're getting close to 300. And we're only in the M's. I have not seen a vote not take place here. Have you, Dawson? Yeah, so unless they waited to the second half of the alphabet for people not to be in there, which I guess for the dramatic sense it would be a move, right? But I doubt that's the case. But that was pretty scary at first when they said 351 people present. Like, oh my God, what did he sell out? The other thing is, let's see here. We got Norman's coming up. So Norman would be the next vote. That would be for Donalds, we would expect. Newhouse right now. Then Andy Oaks. And we are getting down towards the end. Scott Perry, Matt Rosendale, Chip Roy, and Keith Self. Chip Roy is the one that gave the speech for Donalds. Matt Rosendale would be another pretty reliable vote. Norman is voting for Donalds. There you go. They haven't lost a single vote. So what was the establishment doing last night, Jesse?
Right, no, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think they had to have known that they didn't have the votes going into this.
Then why bring the vote up?
Right, I mean, just to continue it. And I think that Kevin McCarthy thinks he can outweight them. I don't know.
I think I don't know if outweight them is the right term.
Outlast them, maybe.
Oaks did vote for Donalds, so haven't had a single now Massey obviously didn't switch votes. That's the other thing is if they could get one person to switch votes, it's pretty big. I mean, honestly, once again, you just need 5 to stay true, but it's a pretty big deal if you get momentum. It's also kind of a deal if you lose momentum. And right now it looks like the Donald's faction will continue to have 20 votes.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffries. Pasquarello. Jeffries.
Democrats seem so amused at this point.
Payne. Jeffries.
I just think this is good, too, because it's like
Jeffries.
Nancy Pelosi. She's so phony. So next to Betty McCollum from Minnesota CD4.
Peltola. Jeffries.
Scott Perry would be the next one. So we got to get to we are in the P's, so
Yeah, and Mary Peltola, she's the congresswoman out of Alaska. It's amazing that she continues to vote for Jeffries because Hakeem Jeffries isn't Alaska's interest, and the only reason she won is because Sarah Palin is not popular there, and Nick Bejic is cut from the same cloth. He's a career politician. Entire family is career politicians. People didn't want either of them, and then that just leaves the Democrat in that situation. So
that's right. Yeah, that stinks. Alaska's one congressional vote went to Democrats.
Yep.
Matt Rosendale, Chip Roy, and Keith Self are left. Chip Roy obviously is going to vote for Donalds. He endorsed him on the floor. Rosendale from Montana seems to be pretty good and consistent, and Keith Self has been too. So it looks like what's going to happen is it's going to be 20 votes for Donalds, and it does look like we are going to have a full vote unless they've orchestrated where the people at the end of the alphabet. Once again, we're speculating here. This has never happened. The last time something similar to this occurred was in 1856. Go find the history book that's got that well detailed, right?
Yeah, right.
Because there wasn't C-SPAN. It wasn't TV back then. In 1923, the last time it took, I think it was 8 ballots for this to happen, there wasn't TV. I mean, none of the stuff is, we don't know how this all goes down.
Right.
You could look at similar tactics on other kinds of bills, that they withhold. One tactic people use will withhold a quorum because you have to have a quorum present. But obviously they did have a quorum because they checked, and then they gave us the number 351, which we are real close to already being at. If you add 158, 159, and 18, yeah, you're at. Yeah, you're getting real close to 351 already. So there's Chip Roy. Obviously, we knew he was going to stay Donalds. So Donalds basically. Oh, I missed Rosendahl. I'm sorry about that. So Rosendahl obviously voted for him. So Keith Self would be the last one.
Jeffries. Rutherford. McCarthy. Ryan.
Fascinating stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, this is pretty big. That we probably won't see this again for a very long time. So
or does it become
you
more
got to take advantage
commonplace?
of it when you got the votes. So.
Right. It's become more commonplace. I hope most people are on board with this at this point. I know that there's fractions in the Republican conservative ranks about this, and a lot of us are, tuning into the wrong media sources. I am looking at a lot of media sources nowadays that seem to be on board. I think Daily Wire was complimentary towards this move. Organizations like Action for Liberty, Young Americans for Liberty, Steve Scalise voting for McCarthy, obviously.
Yeah, and I saw George Santos up there too, so he's voting McCarthy still.
So the last vote is Keith Self. I'll put my headset on here, but that will be 20, which would keep the same numbers.
Yeah, Patrick Dennis also mentioned that he just founded the Constitutional Republic Party, so it should be interesting. I haven't looked into it too much, so yeah, looking forward to seeing more of what goes on with that.
Yeah, parties are obviously a real big problem, political parties.
Yep.
Let's get the audio here. Their audio cut out? Really? Interesting. Not that it really matters too much, but hopefully we get audio back when the votes are done. And does he stay Donalds?
Yep.
Does. All right, so there you go. So at this point, Downs at least has 20 unless someone changes their vote. And I think we've already hit past 351.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have to watch some ads apparently. Fascinating stuff here. Yeah, we're way past. No, we're not way past it.
Yeah, so this really could mean that this is going to go for another few votes, another couple days,
But
even possibly.
Why go any more votes if you're the Republicans?
Right. Well, McCarthy doesn't want to give this up. He
sure, he
wants
doesn't
to
want to give it up, but obviously you're
remain the choice.
Are you going to settle this on the House floor? Is that what you think is going to happen?
I'm not sure.
It's ridiculous.
I'm not sure what's going on in Kevin's mind here. It's pretty interesting.
Not working out for him. And why is he in the office, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pull up the letter to the architect I sent you, Dawson. Yeah, no worries. This is just fascinating. Gates and Boebert and some of the other Freedom Caucus members. They're actually, it's kind of funny. They're saying it's the Freedom Caucus that's mounting this effort. It's like, not really, but.
Yeah, it's a few members of the Freedom Caucus. So
this is a letter that Matt Gaetz, is there any way to blow up? There you go. Matt Gaetz sent to the, whatchamacallit, the architect of the house. I better read it off of my screen here, because if I try reading on that computer screen, it's going to not work out for me. Dear Mr. Blatton, nice name. What if he's related to the Blattons of Kentucky? I write to inform you that the Speaker of the House office located in the U.S. Capitol building is currently occupied Representative Kevin McCarthy. As of this morning, the 117th Congress adjourned sine die, and a Speaker from the 118th Congress has not been elected. After 3 undeciding votes, no member can lay claim to this office. What is the basis in law, House rule, or President to allow someone who has placed second in 3 successive Speaker elections to occupy the Speaker of the House office? Now 4, by the way. How long will he remain there before he's considered a squatter? Please write back promptly, as it seems Mr. McCarthy can no longer be considered Speaker designate following today's balloting.
Mm-hmm.
Signed by Matt Gaetz, member of Congress.
Mm-hmm.
What is he doing there? There's this infamous video. I was a Ron Paul delegate back in 2012. Ron Paul was an awesome congressman from Texas. And at the convention in 2012, which Mitt Romney was crowned. But if you don't know this, the RNC and DNC conventions, they're not conventions. They're shows. That's what they are. The Democrats do it right. They just make it entertainment. They had like what's that good-looking Latin woman's name?
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez?
No. Longoria.
Eva Longoria?
Eva Longoria. Yeah, she was like off-screen, a different place, like basically hosting the show. It was very well done, and of course they're close to Hollywood, so why wouldn't you expect that? So anyhow, that's all it is. It's a show. So in 2012, they're supposed to be following rules, right? And on the floor of the convention, they wanted to push a rule change to basically stop a Ron Paul thing from ever happening against, I think it was Rule 12. And they go, and it was John Boehner, Speaker of the House, reading this thing. And he goes, all in favor say aye, aye. All opposed say nay, nay. And it's so clear the nays have it.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, it's the opinion of the chair that the ayes have it. There's somebody with a different angle that's showing him literally reading that on the prompter. Like the teleprompter says, it's the opinion of the chair that the ayes have it. He's just reading a script. Gotta be fun to find that video. Let's go back to the House floor here because we're gonna round up. I don't think we're gonna have to go back.
And Derek Van Orden, that's a very interesting congressman, too. He is out of Wisconsin, and he was attacked pretty hardcore by the establishment. But what's interesting is he seems to have been coalesced into them because he nominated Tom Emmer for whip in the Republican conference meeting. Here he is voting for Kevin McCarthy. And if you would have seen Derek Van Orden before this election, you would have thought there is no way he's doing that.
Right. So Jeffries yesterday, last vote, had 212. McCarthy had 202. and Jordan had 20. All 20 votes for Jordan have now gone to Donald's.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffries is closing in 5 away from his vote. We're in the W's. And then McCarthy, unless there's less Republicans voting, we've been trying to follow the votes. I don't recall seeing someone who hasn't voted yet. It's possible we missed one.
Mm-hmm.
But we're rounding towards the end of it, and it's fascinating. If you don't have our spreadsheet, we did post on our Facebook page, and I don't want to forget this. Follow us. It's also on our Twitter, so follow us down there. Put that right there over there. See that? Action_Liberty. Follow us on our Twitter account. We finally went to Twitter because, there's only 2 real free speech social media companies that I'm tracking. Other Truth Social, I guess, right? But it's the new Twitter under Elon Musk. We assume that they're going to be good now because basically they're airing out all their laundry.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is Rumble. So what's our Rumble handle? We just started this show, The Truth Hurts. This actually officially launched yesterday. So if you go to The Truth Hurts Show, that's a Rumble channel, you can follow there. Subscribe there. The Truth Hurts Show. Follow us on Rumble. Rumble seems to be very aligned with us. All right, so Jeffries has hit his 212. Now, I haven't been following this closely. Was there a Republican that voted for Jeffries?
No, I don't know. I doubt it.
I don't think so. Yeah, McCarthy is 2-0. Yeah, we're at the end, Zinke. So
Yep.
now, we don't have audio? Oh, we do have audio. Here we go. I thought I heard clapping. Very light audio, I hear. So she would have, the clerk would have just said, the teller will read the people that haven't voted. McCarthy's still short a vote from yesterday. Oh, there you go. There's your gal. Talk to McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
Go get it done for me. I'm going to put you on a committee. That's the other thing. She's like, Kevin McCarthy will put me on a committee. It's like, any Republican's going to put you. What do you think? The Republicans aren't going to put you on a committee?
Yeah.
She got kicked off committees last year.
Well, the one thing look at that. One present vote. That's very interesting.
Oh, crap.
Not sure who just said
a
that there.
Republican voted present.
Wow.
Go back here. Can we find out what that was all about? Right there. Okay, now fast forward. Let's who is Sparks? What's going on there?
Yeah, that's very interesting.
So that is McCarthy is she's technically, is it Victoria Sparks? That's I thought they said Sparks. It could be Sparts from Indiana. We're doing this on the fly.
I have 3 different volume sliders turned all the way up because they are making their audio as quiet as possible. So
Gotcha.
just be ready for them to fix it.
So it looks like Victoria Sparks,
Mm-hmm.
Indiana.
That's what I'm looking at too.
Vote present is basically like a vote for Byron Donalds.
There's Tom
Now-
Emmer and Byron Donalds right
Yep.
there.
Emmer's going to work for McCarthy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what? This Victoria Sparks, I kind of remember seeing something about her that she is a Ukrainian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, very interesting.
Oh, and now why is Donald speaking?
And she was very happy about Zelensky showing up. She was given a big round of applause.
So what is the deal with Sparks? Oh, C-SPAN, go back to the good stuff. What was going on with that? There's Morgan Luttrell, brand new congressman. This is not a there. That's the angle we want to see. Now, what are they talking about? I mean, essentially the move is to have this looks like he's giving a checklist of things. This is what we're going to give you. And what they want is Byron Donalds to go probably give the speech from McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on. So I do think we'll get a second vote here.
Yeah, it seems like Byron Donalds isn't that interested, just from his facial expressions there.
All right, C-SPAN, got it. Those guys are talking. We're not surprised by it. Let's go back to the juicy stuff, the thing that matters. If I'm Matt Gaetz, I'm going to go sit over there by Tom Emmer. And he's probably doing that. He's looking. Let's go back to Byron Donalds and Tom Emmer. If you're from Minnesota, which you probably are watching this show, you're very interested in that because Tom Emmer is the majority whip, third in power. Actually, technically, right now he's second in power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, Matt Gaetz is having a little conversation with Mike Gallagher, the guy that nominated McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're not really buddy. Okay, now that is getting juicy. Yeah, look at that. Ooh, they're not having a good time.
Yeah.
A little frustration there. That's good stuff. This is healthy. This is democracy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone that's so upset about this is democracy. Oh, everyone's going to be so mad. This ruins the whole Congress. It's 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Fox News, get over it. This is healthy.
No, there's still obviously a lot more to discuss. That's what this shows.
Right. I love how they're talking about them up there instead of I guess Jim Jordan's. I didn't see that. The light's in my way. So Jim Jordan's is talking to Andy Harris. That is an interesting thing. Divide and conquer, too. See, they got their guys working each one.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to know what's going on with Emmer and Brian Donalds, though.
Yeah. And that
it seems like this Matt Gaetz conversation's worth listening to. I wish we could get audio on that.
Yeah. But that present vote, I have to imagine that was done to help McCarthy. I don't know for sure.
Why would it? It wouldn't help McCarthy. It would actually help Jeffries.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, it would.
Yeah, Democrat voting president would help McCarthy, but so McCarthy lost momentum. McCarthy lost another vote. That's what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
You think she wants more money for Ukraine?
Probably.
$50 billion is not enough?
I think she is a real neocon. I don't know a ton about her. I haven't done a ton of research, but
yeah, we are not DC
there's some
insiders.
red flags there.
We are experts in politics. We're just not DC insiders because, quite frankly, nothing good really happens in DC. This is the first time I've really cared a lot about DC in a long while because something's actually happening here of substance. Usually, I mean, listen, it's so obvious. I'm going to take that off. It's so obvious that this is a big show usually. Kevin McCarthy is literally squatting in the speaker's office right now. He is losing votes. He has less votes for speaker right now than he did leaving yesterday.
Yep.
Is it every ballot? Not every ballot. I guess the first ballot and the second ballot. First ballot, McCarthy had 203 votes. Second ballot, 203 votes. Third ballot, 202 votes. Fourth ballot, 201 votes. McCarthy keeps losing votes.
Wow.
I'm going to say present on here.
Yeah, and what's interesting is I really don't want to see this end up coalescing behind Steve Scalise. I would rather actually have Kevin McCarthy than Steve Scalise as the leader of the Republicans. So it's interesting how some of these dynamics work because sometimes someone they seem like the worst ever, and then you compare him to another rhino, and you go, well, actually, maybe Kevin's not as bad as him. So,
okay, this is fascinating. So here we got Matt Gaetz chatting with a lot of people that possibly could be moved. But on the bottom is the guy that literally gave this speech, the endorsing speech for Kevin McCarthy. His name is Mike Gallagher in northern Wisconsin, northeastern Wisconsin, Appleton area. I guarantee he's a Packer fan. At least he has to be with his constituency. Lively, animated conversation. Are any of these guys swayed? Jeez, I wish I could be part of that.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Gaetz seems to be the strongest opposition to McCarthy. And he's on the left. He's the one using a lot of hand gestures.
Yeah, he's getting them to talk.
This is just fascinating stuff.
Yeah. They're all listening to him. He's setting the terms for the conversation.
There's Tom Emmer and Byron Donalds again. Is that a Democrat coming over? I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
The white-haired gentleman.
We've got better commentary than these guys do.
Oh, of course, it's C-SPAN. Of course, we can do better than any of these mainstream. Well, the reason is where the truth hurts. We're going to tell you the stuff you need to know. We're not going to lie to you. We're not going to be Fox News and just reiterate the talking points of McCarthy faction. We're going to tell you what you need to know. Yeah. And what's going on right now is Emmer is working on Byron Donalds. He's trying to get him to actually not just come over, but deliver the speech.
Mm-hmm.
They got to divide and conquer, right? You get rid of the guy they're voting for, that's a big blow to their movement. Mm-hmm. But once again, if Matt Gaetz and the Five, I don't know why I keep saying the Five. I don't even know who the Five is anymore. Yeah. It seems like there's a big faction of people that are really stuck in the mud. But if we're just doing the count, Matt Gaetz, Chip Roy, Biggs, Rosendale, Bishop maybe, like doesn't seem like they're going to move much.
Yeah, there's a few.
Go, sir.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, that's at least 6. Is this the Gaetz lead that conversation? McCarthy's just letting everyone else do the work, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
What is he thinking? I mean, there's some people in D.C. right now with a spreadsheet, and they're doing an analysis, and they know the guys that are closest to come their way, and they know the guys that are the closest to leaving. Looks like McCarthy's leaving the floor. They might just recess.
Yeah. That's probably the best move for McCarthy.
Yes. If Tom Emmer can't get Byron Donalds, and obviously Gaetz isn't doing anything, then yeah, you recess. Is Gaetz still talking? That's that group that was there. And some of these conversations are interesting. They're people that maybe are starting to move. That's the beauty of this play, is that eventually if these people hold their position, the Republicans are forced to now find another person. I really want to know more about this Byron Donalds, right?
Yeah, it'd be good. I don't know much about him either, but sounds like he's principled, and it would be a total slap in the face of the identity politics of the left. So I assuming he's a true conservative, I'd like to see it happen.
I think at this point, the one thing that can't happen is a Washington, D.C. insider like Kevin McCarthy. Let's go with someone from greater United States. I want to see a Montana or unfortunately, Alaska doesn't work in this case.
Yeah.
An Idaho or Wyoming. No one good for Minnesota.
Yeah. Maybe Stauber's the best of them, but
I don't think that's the truth at all.
Yeah?
No. I mean, by voting, probably Fishbach, but I'm sure she's just an establishment hack.
Yeah, Patrick Dennis also says that Mitch McConnell is at a Biden event today promoting a $1.2 trillion bill. I don't know anything about that. I have to check that out. But that's the uniparty that you talk about, Patrick.
Yeah, there's C-SPAN saying what we were saying from the beginning is they could have members not show up. Now, if I'm a liberal voter or activist, I'm pretty mad if one of my Democrat reps don't show up.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys have no principles. Don't think for a second they do. I think Kevin McCarthy probably left the floor just to use the bathroom. Seems pretty normal, right? You know, if I'm reading into his nonverbal stuff, I think he's just trying to play the weight game. But at some point, you just either gotta concede on issues to get these people on board, and it's gotta be public, or you got to pull some trick like where Democrats don't show up to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And Republicans got to show up to vote. That'd be dangerous because then you could get Jeffries in. And once again, going back to what we said earlier, is it dangerous? The majority party calls all the shots. I'm going to take this off right now. The majority party calls all the shots. So even if the Democrats somehow get Jeffries in, it's kind of a moot point, right? They could overrule the speaker on anything that the speaker does that's out of line.
Mm-hmm.
Byron Donalds on the outer perimeter of seems like the most important conversation right now happening on the House floor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've been in a lot of conventions over the years. People get a little crazy and goofy in situations like this, politicking on the fly on the House floor. So how messy will this get? Will they all of a sudden pick somebody completely out of left field? Hopefully not out of left field, so to speak.
Yeah.
We don't know. There's Chip Roy. Live the conversation with, looks like Mike Gallagher. So it doesn't seem like they're ready to budge on a lot of these issues. Chip Roy seems to be the big hero today. Yesterday, Jim Jordan was the big winner. He saves face with establishment, but also is honored to have votes and gain momentum on Kevin McCarthy. I think we'll wait to see what the next thing is, and then I don't think we'll stay on a live stream. Do we have any comments that we haven't read yet?
Patrick Dennis also says that Kevin McCarthy doesn't have the integrity to resign, to concede.
Yeah, but at some point, he's going to lose. That's what's going to happen. Whether Kevin McCarthy does or not, it's going to be done for him. Because the Republican conference is going to go.
They've made it pretty painfully clear they won't vote for him.
Like, as long as you have 5 consistent conservatives that will not vote for Kevin McCarthy won't be the Speaker of the House unless he cuts a massive deal with the Democrats. And then that just exposes Kevin McCarthy for exactly who you'd think he was, right? So there's no path for him as long as those 5 stay true. So the move's really Kevin McCarthy's to make. And I don't know. I mean, is there really a reason? It really comes down to personalities with me. I just don't think you're going to ever drain the swamp by just electing the swamp back into powerful positions.
Ms. Schnitt pipes in on Rumble saying you cannot make a deal with McCarthy because he will not keep any deal.
Yeah, that's the other thing that gets past me. So, like, I hear your gal, Marjorie Taylor Greene, saying, we've already got deals. These are good deals. It's like, yeah, but they're politicians. They'll go back on their word in a quick minute. It's like, what was the one that they were talking about yesterday? They'll say something like, you know, let's just say they're for, I know what. I'll give you a good one. Single subject bills. You know, because you see the conservatives want to get rid of these omnibus bills.
Yep.
And what Kevin McCarthy will do is, I'm on board with you, single subject bills. And then they'll go, listen, guys, this is just, we're going to shut down the government. We're going to lose the next election if we don't get this passed. We're only one branch. We're only one leg of the three-legged stool. That's what they always say.
Yep.
There's never going to be 3 legs, by the way. Once you have 3 legs of the stool, which Trump had, President, House, and Senate, then there's all of a sudden a 4th leg. Well, we need the Supreme Court. And then there's a fifth leg. There's the veto-proof Senate. There's always an excuse by establishment why they can't get conservative policies. This is an animated conversation. Mike Gallagher and Chip Roy.
Yeah, and
they're hailing
the
someone
point
over.
you're making is something that Chip Roy was talking about yesterday too during his speech, saying that we need to get rid of these omnibus bills. We need to take it to single issue bills, and that Kevin McCarthy has proven that he won't do it, and Jim Jordan will. So
Yep. But the question is, will anyone in there do what they need to do when the deals get done? I haven't seen what's his name, Santos yet.
Yeah, he's hiding.
He's probably realized how much he was shown on TV yesterday. He's like, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
hide out in the gallery or something.
Mm-hmm.
I bet that they've figured out that that is not the big story coming out of this vote, and so they're just not shining the camera on him at all.
It is interesting. That's a good point. I mean, yesterday that was a storyline. Today it's like, yeah, we're kind of setting a historic event. Who cares if Santos lied? They all lie, right?
Yeah.
Santos from New York. Is it Staten Island? Where is he from? I think it's Staten Island.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure.
Lied about a lot of things on his resume. Where he worked, college, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big controversy. It all gets exposed
Where
after
he
he's
lived.
elected. He's already
Yeah.
got his election certificate.
Yeah.
My only question is, they all lie all the time. Why are we so worried about that lie?
Yeah, he lied about everything. His race. He said he was an Afro-Latino Jew. And it turns out he's none of them. So it's just funny to see.
That guy on the right, I felt like is a Republican staffer, but I might be wrong on that. Jim Jordan and Matt Gaetz talking.
Mm-hmm.
Harris to the right. Gaetz seems very adamant about things. The big thing was ghosts are there. Big thing was conversation. Jim Jordan doesn't even want the job. Yeah, he wants the job. Come on, don't tell me that.
Yeah, I mean, he ran for the job before,
Yeah.
against Kevin McCarthy, and since that point, they've smoothed things over, and they get along pretty well nowadays.
Right.
And also, one thing about Kevin McCarthy is he is going to let these people be conservatives. He's
Yeah.
not going to stop them from doing what they believe is right. And
Until it comes to an actual vote, right?
or until it comes to a personal issue between
where
them.
it really matters, because that's the point. Is like, Dawson, do we have a plug out here? I'm losing my battery power on my computer.
Yeah, I actually just about ran out
Did
too,
ya?
so I won't be able to follow the comments.
I got 10%. I don't think we'll stay live on a second vote if it does happen, or if we do, what I think we'll do is we'll wait till we get to the 5 votes just to see. This delay between votes already suggests that there is going to be no momentum, right?
Yep.
I mean, this is just fun watching these guys go at it, but I just don't see it. I don't have my charger with me. If it's in my office, it's right to the left of my. Assume we have a plug that we can use. At least there's animated conversations. Yesterday was kind of boring.
Yeah. Yeah, but if we could have the audio of what it sounds like in that room right now with all those people talking, and you can only imagine how intense it really is.
I thought Byron Donalds just pulled the total alpha move and and just went to the middle of that group.
Yeah.
It turns out all he was doing was they're just in the way.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, that's okay.
It says battery not charging? Hey, it says battery is not charging. What did you plug it into? Oh. We're good now. All right. Yeah, I was going to say, how would that not work?
Mm-hmm.
Bring in Robert. All right. Harris doesn't look like he's ready to move. Gaetz isn't ready to move. They don't have the votes.
Mm-hmm.
This blonde lady, this isn't what's her name, Spates, is it?
I don't think so.
Because I've seen her a lot hanging around that group.
Mm-hmm.
It could be. I'm gonna look up.
Could be. I'm not sure. It doesn't look entirely like her, but
I know a lot of people that follow us know that we're a Sparts. I guess it's Spates. Sparts. See, we're doing this on the fly. a lot of you guys that follow us know we know a lot about politics, but we aren't experts on the U.S. Congress because, quite frankly, nothing good ever happens there. And so that's why I don't think that's sparse when I look at it.
Mm-hmm. I don't think so either, but she does have the same blonde hair.
Ms. Schnitt on Rumble is asking us to stay live.
Who's that?
Ms. Schnitt on Rumble is asking us to stay live,
Well,
please.
is Schnitt? If Miss Schnitt says so, we better stay live. Who's bringing food to us? We are going to be hungry here, and I promised Jesse lunch. What time do you got to get out of here?
I gotta be back at around 1:30. So.
Oh, yeah, you can't be live, can you?
Nope.
Then I'll have to get you lunch at a different time then.
Yeah, that'd be all
I think
good.
even if we ended right now, I couldn't get you lunch with that schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that.
All good.
I'm so sorry I didn't know how this thing was going to go down. We literally didn't. I thought.
Yeah, this was all unexpected. We had no idea
Yeah.
that it was really going to go down like this and how many votes, and it's pretty intense.
2 hours ago, I was talking to one of my good political buddies, Bill, and I think both of us were convinced the deal had been struck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, certainly when Trump tweets out this morning that he's got total faith in Kevin McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to drain the swamp except for that one swamp creature.
So, minor mistake. It's not Ms. Schnitt, even though that's the username. That's actually Mike Schmidt, who misspelled his username.
Well, then it's Mike's fault. It's not your fault. Don't apologize for anything there,
Well.
Miss Schmidt. All right, Stefanik and Kevin McCarthy are moving, and they take the camera off him. Why would you do that? There's Rosendale from Montana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is. It's like that. He's
They're
making a
just goofing
move.
around, yeah.
He's going somewhere. The shark is swimming. Get on it.
It is interesting to see the people that just sit back and don't do anything. They say, oh, it's not my battle, it's not my fight. You know, I couldn't even imagine if I was in Congress and all of a sudden this is going on and I'm just sitting back and letting it all unfold for me. No way. You got to be one of the drivers.
I'll push back on that for a second, okay? Because I can understand someone thinking it's not a fight. Are we too long, Dale? See? Oh, look at that. The record shows Dale doesn't think we're too long. I love it. Biggest critic, always saying we're too long on our episodes. Guess it's good material now. So I push back on that for a second there, Jesse, because is there a better option? Is Jim Jordan's a better option, right? So if there's not a better option, maybe you sit it out. Here's how I would vote, okay? If anyone cares, I'm sure Ms. Schmidt does. Mike, just kidding. Well, Mike hasn't chosen his gender yet. I would say that I would vote. I don't know if at this point, I would be hard not to be part of this, but I would at least vote for somebody else because I know who Kevin McCarthy is, right? I know who all these jokers are. So I'd vote for someone else. Whether I'm actually, because you got to live up to your vote in the end, right? You own your vote.
Right.
But whether that's Gosler's talking to, I can't see who he is behind that, but right by Morgan Luttrell. What's so funny, Dawson?
Mike is just having a hard time on Rumble. I can't change my name. I can't do it.
Oh, so you're saying Mike's got a...
His username is misspelled. It's MSCHNITT instead of Schmidt.
Interesting.
On Facebook, Patrick
Something
Dennis
happening
says you
here?
guys don't go long enough.
Something happening, I can't tell. At least we're not seeing the McCarthy people going over to the Jeffries people. Because that's the other thing that could happen. Someone was like, this is another Fox News talking point, obviously taken away from the Republican establishment. This is dangerous because then they could get a consensus guy from the Democrats and Republicans. You could get a really bad guy. Well, first of all, can you get really worse than Kevin McCarthy? I don't know. But
yeah, no, it definitely could.
But then let's say it's a Democrat, then it's like, then you're saying the conservatives are the bad guys who always voted for Republican, but it's somehow when Republicans start voting for a Democrat consensus guy, it's not a problem. Like, that's not on them. That's on the people that voted for the Democrat.
Yeah, no, I mean,
there's another option, Tulsi Gabbard, right? You brought that up about.
Yeah, people have talked about that, but I do fear that if Liz Cheney gets nominated or something, that there could be 5 Republicans that go along with it and the Democrats vote with it, and obviously we'd have those 5 Republicans to blame.
Okay, here we go. Let's see what she's gonna say.
I can't push the audio any harder.
That's okay. I can hear it.
Oh,
that's my cue.
Clap.
Yep, I'm supposed to clap. It's all show.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Tom's delivering the bad news.
Yeah.
Can't get these guys. Sounded about the same amount.
Yeah, I didn't know he was from Florida. That's good to know.
I think they take they recess or adjourn. They got work to do.
Yeah.
Jim Jordan, probably. Nope. What are we doing?
Wow.
Oh, look how tired Scalise and Stefanik seem.
Yeah.
It's actual insanity.
Well, Dawson, this is politics. It is insanity. At least this vote, we have something to watch. Sparts. We've got something interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm. There's Stauber.
Where?
Oh, never mind. I was thinking on the left there, but
Scalise?
looking again. Oh, yeah, Scalise, my bad. That was interesting.
Yeah, Mike, I'm trying to push the audio as hard as I can, but C-SPAN's really goofing up their stream.
Did you see that he mentioned Massey?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Of course, it's a good move. I mean, this isn't going to change anyone's vote. What are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
Swamp creature. She won't get under Kevin McCarthy.
Surprising they picked this guy to give the speech. Who is he convincing? Nobody.
Does he have a poll? That woman's sitting next to Thomas Massey. I'm really curious who this is. She's really hanging around him a lot. Are you? I don't think you're not on the mic, are you? I can't hear you.
I'm catching wind that there's a website that might have better audio than this one. Should I try to switch it, or are we just gonna...
Is anyone complaining?
people are saying that they can't hear it, which we know
Let's
that.
switch when it's Hakeem Jeffries' nomination speech.
Okay. Patrick Dennis is asking how Ted Cruz voted.
Cruz is in the Senate.
And probably he voted for Mitch McConnell over Rick Scott.
Not that there's a real vote there.
Yeah, someone voted president. That was probably Rand Paul.
All right, so he's going one by one, saying the deals that have been cut for the people that have been voting against him. I don't think this is going to work here. So obviously, I don't understand. It's not like if the votes change here, it's not because of this great speech. It's going to be because something was done in between votes. But the body language we were reading in between votes did not suggest that they switched over the Gates and the Chip Roys of the world.
Mm-hmm.
What I can't wait to hear is the speech, the rebuttal speech. This basically that'll be fascinating to hear. Also, who are they going to nominate? Are they going to stick with Donald, or are they going to pick for someone else?
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. Probably sticking with Donald's. But,
yeah, I don't know why you would switch because it's not like anything switched from McCarthy.
Yep.
But there's a rationale. You test a bunch of different people to see if they've got the votes. Maybe you go for Massey this time.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, if they switch votes, it means that the 20 are somewhat unified and have been chatting, and most likely one of those 20 have slipped up and told the establishment or someone they thought was a friend that talks to the establishment. That's how politics works. And so the establishment knows their tricks. Might be another reason why you mentioned Massey at the start there, Jesse. Biggest loser here is obviously Marjorie Taylor Greene. I hope you see that.
I don't think
she's
so.
working her butt off of McCarthy. She doesn't get any mentions from the floor.
No, she was saying that these people that are, making this move didn't have her best intentions in mind, that they weren't, trying to help her out as well. And she's a fighter,
That's right, because it's all about her, right?
It's a difference of opinion. I got a lot of respect for Marjorie Taylor Greene.
We know.
Yep, she's a good lady in my mind. Very few people call it out like she does, so.
What's the worst outcome? I think you're going to vote. Yeah, these are just scare tactics. Republicans are going to vote for the Speaker of the House. All right, go ahead. You can try switching to a different link, Dawson, real quick, because quite frankly, that's it's going to be Aguilar once again giving a speech for Hakeem Jeffries. The Democrats are one-trick ponies, and they are line. They are doing what the party bosses told them to do.
Yeah.
You vote for Hakeem Jeffries. There's no dissent on that side.
Mm-hmm.
Who's for democracy? Not the Democrats, obviously. So we're getting ready for the 5th ballot. If you're just joining, 4th ballot went down. The conservatives placed Donalds into nomination for Speaker House. Donalds received 20 votes. McCarthy received 201 votes, and Jeffries 212. So McCarthy
And one present.
So there's one present. So McCarthy has continued to lose a vote on every single ballot. Now, I don't know how sophisticated the conservatives are here.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you one thing that I'm noticing is they've been disciplined. They haven't lost a vote. And they could have been parking votes for McCarthy. Byron Donalds could have been part of this play.
Yeah.
Byron Donalds voted for McCarthy in the first 2 ballots. On the 3rd ballot, he voted for Jordan. And on the 4th ballot, he voted for himself.
Yeah.
That could have been orchestrated.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been part of the play.
Right.
Spartz, Representative Spartz, who we know very little about. Doesn't seem like she's one of the conservatives, but we don't know much about it.
Yeah, we could be
voted
wrong.
present, which is a vote against McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
Because he lost a vote. Presidents only help McCarthy if it's from a Democrat. A present actually helps Jeffries. Jeffries was the closest because by her voting present, let me think, it probably still is 218. It could drop down to 217. It needs to be majority.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be 433 people.
Mm-hmm.
That's still 18. 218. So I guess it didn't. You don't have a half a person, right? If they counted half persons, then yes, it would make a difference. Do we not have another stream?
We do, and it's a little bit better. They're still giving that speech for the other guy.
Yeah, go ahead and pull up that stream on the main screen so we don't miss.
And I'm
whoa,
also,
this is Bulbert. Who did she nominate?
I think we can go back and look.
Let's go back from the beginning. Shoot. Okay, so they stuck with Donalds.
Yep, Donald, okay.
So this is big because Bilbert wasn't part of the original 5, although so that means that it seems like they're going to have that 5 again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I don't see any of the 20 flipping, so it seems that the number will maybe even increase.
If we don't do as we ought, then some of those rules may just go away.
Oh, bold. I love it.
Fantastic. After Morgan Griffith, well, that was our idea too. My question is, why didn't the supposed leader of the Republican Party present these rules? Why were we fought so hard on these rules? The barrier that still stands in the way of these rules is the structure that prevents us from rolling over. And as my friend from Chip Roy stated, we need the tools and the leadership to do our job correctly. And I believe that Byron Donalds is the man to lead us to that path of getting America on track and uniting the Republican Party.
Yeah, Chip Roy voted for Byron Donalds in that first round, so it does make sense that he would have been in the know on these on the play. So
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now.
mm-hmm.
He was the only one to do Donalds in the first round. Jordan had a bunch of votes in the first round, and then Zeldin.
Mm-hmm.
Our border is wide open. Inflation is out of control. The Senate just passed $1.7 trillion without our input. So let me be clear. Our job is not to coronate the biggest fundraiser or rubber stamp.
Yes, that's right.
Or keep on going along
Mm-hmm.
to get along. It's to use our votes to elect get our country back on track. Getting the job done is what we were elected to do. And that starts with having a leader who supports Republican principles, builds consensus, and has a proven track record of success. Byron Donalds is that leader. Republicans, including many moderates, have been impressed by Byron Donalds. They're impressed by his ability to work together. They respect his leadership. We see him as someone who can communicate what we are all wanting to do in this House to Americans. And he represents so much more than just his district in Florida. Many millions of Americans all over this nation praise the work and the leadership of Byron Donalds. So let's work together. Let's stop with the campaign smears and tactics to get people to turn against us. Even having my favorite president call us and tell us we need to knock this off. I think it actually needs to be reversed. The president needs to tell Kevin McCarthy that, sir, you do not have the votes and it's time to withdraw. With that, I yield. Thank you.
Wow.
You're back.
Yes, ma'am.
The reading clerk will again.
Okay, let's go ahead and get to live, Dawson, because we know it's not until Biggs anyhow.
And
Oh,
this one doesn't have the count.
Bacon, Baird, okay.
I can try finding the other
Nope,
one.
don't worry about it. We're just going to make an assumption here. No one before Biggs is gone. Donalds. So it'll go quick. It'll go Biggs, Bishop, and Boebert. Boebert obviously is going to be Donalds. She just nominated him.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see Biggs changing, so. We'll have the numbers here in the C's. Why don't we go to about Bob Good or Gosler, and then we'll shut down the live stream, Jesse, so you can
Alrighty.
hightail out of here. You said 1 to 1:30, so we'll get you back by 1:30. Does that work?
Yep, Biggs just votes Donalds.
Yep. I mean, it's a story if any of the 20 don't.
Mm-hmm.
So Bishops of Georgia is a Democrat. Bishops of North Carolina. Donalds. There we are.
Wow.
So we're 40% of the way already. And Boebert's already going to, obviously Boebert's is going to be Donalds. So that's, so you're already at 60% essentially.
Yep, Gates won't flip, and then.
And then you got Burkeen, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So by Michael Cloud, that's the 5. Once again, it just needs to be 5. Looks like a bunch of members are realizing it's pointless to be on the floor, so they've already taken off. They'll come back in to vote, but
I think I have an idea.
oh, they do the audio. Let's not mess with it.
Yeah, that's not even live.
Have we really not brought the? We missed Burkeen. Go back to Burkeen. You picked the wrong time to do that. Okay, yeah. All right, let's go back to real-time Cloud. So C-SPAN's not live? Or it's a big delay?
This one looks more ahead than the other one was.
I thought C-SPAN had the official stream, so
Maybe they do, but they definitely had more post quote unquote production, so maybe they needed a buffer to do it.
that's a good point. That's probably it. Or the AP's got the stream and they just. So Michael Cloud will be the next one, and then it's followed by Andrew Clyde real quickly. I think Clybourne's in between Cloud and Clyde. So Cloud would be the 5th. That means, well, let's just put it this way: Matt Gaetz is not going to flip his vote. Chip Roy's not going to flip their vote. McCarthy is still not the Speaker of the House. So what's he doing in the office? Why is he squatting in that office?
Yeah.
The other big story that could happen is somebody outside of the 20 votes that way, and then sports too. Unfortunately, we will not be live streaming at that part. The story will be here real soon that McCarthy doesn't have the votes, and therefore they're gonna adjourn, or they'll take a recess. But they got some stuff to sort out. Godspeed to these conservatives for standing strong. And does this mean that Trump's influence is minimizing there, Jesse?
No, because a lot of the people that are going against Kevin McCarthy are the same people that endorse Trump. So,
right, but I'm just saying,
it's
he doesn't
just a
seem to have any
difference of
pull.
opinions. Everyone's allowed to have their own opinion.
At what point does Trump jump ships?
Whenever Trump wants, it's up to Trump.
And does that switch any votes?
Maybe just Marjorie.
Now I want him to do it just to see. Oh, that'd be funny.
All right, coming up here.
Yep. Ooh.
No Cloud.
No Cloud. What happened there?
It was a hit job. Cloud's gone.
Clyde's gone.
Wow.
Donald's.
Oh, okay. Well, they
Cloud
got the
probably,
5 then.
Now, once again, Cloud not voting. So we are at 5, but Cloud not voting. He could come back around in the end and vote.
Right.
But the other thing about Cloud not voting is it actually doesn't help McCarthy. Okay? It actually helps Jeffries, or keeps it consistent. The only way it helps McCarthy is he'd actually have to switch over. And my thought is there's just a chance he's not in the
in the chamber.
In the chamber.
That'd be the most likely, but you never know. It is odd that he is not voting right now.
I mean, people have to use the bathroom. I'll mention a story on after we get to the Crane vote. Crane will be the next one. That'll be so there's 6. And then Byron Donalds is next up to possibly be voting. Let's see if Tom Emmer was successful at getting Byron Donalds to vote against himself. There's an interesting story that happened in Minnesota in the Senate. This is back when Real ID was going through. Republican establishment was pushing Real ID, a national ID card. Bad, very bad stuff, right?
Yep.
So if you think there's like Republicans are all good limited government people, no, they were all pushing for a national ID card. Minnesota is one of the few holdouts. Now it's Kurt Doubt in the House and Paul Gazelka in the Senate. And a senator, I want to say it was Bruce Anderson, I'm pretty certain I got that right, was morally opposed to Real ID, and I think it was enough to stop the vote in a committee. And all of a sudden, he went to the bathroom during the committee hearing. They took the vote, and he came back.
Wow.
This is another interesting thing. They was going to die in the first committee. Eric Lucero and Cindy Pugh were in this data practices committee, and they were staunchly against Real ID. So what ended up happening was they went to Lucero, and I know this because he told me this, and he said they told me to take a walk, not to show up to committee and vote against it. And I go, so what? You should still show up. It's your job. He goes, well, they're going to take me off committee. Same tactic that Kevin McCarthy has been exposed for doing. That's what these guys do. They'll take you off committee. They try to punish you. And I'm just glad that you got people like Boebert actually exposing it.
Mm-hmm.
So Donald's will be the next one. We'll make it through, I don't know, Bob Good or Paul Gosar, and then we'll end the live stream. Okay. I just was curious, right?
Yeah,
I
right.
didn't know. All right. So Tom Emmer not doing a good job as whip, apparently, for the establishment.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Matt Gaetz being the next one is going to be a solid vote. Right now, if you're not following or you walked away, you had to use the restroom, Michael Cloud was not present to vote. They'll go back at the end for the people that didn't get to vote. It might be a non-story. It might be a story. He might have been told to take a walk.
Mm-hmm.
But taking a walk doesn't necessarily help McCarthy here. It just shows that Donalds is losing support.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't help McCarthy. And that's the other thing. Sparks could be a ploy by the establishment.
Mm-hmm.
Although you would think they would do a few more than Sparks.
Yeah.
But then Sparks comes back and votes for McCarthy, and it shows McCarthy's got momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, this is not a lot of momentum. It's probably not going to work, and these are pretty sophisticated political people, so I don't know how much this is going to work. You need a big faction of people to show momentum. But don't put it past that these guys park votes, meaning they tell them to vote a different way and then bring those votes back to back home, so to speak, for a future vote. This happens all the time in the establishment, a lot of times in conventions. Fishbach of Congressional District 7, Minnesota. That guy's ready to go. You know, it's just a smart move if you're a nobody congressman to join the conservatives here, because then at least you're relevant.
Yeah.
They got all these guys that are just saying McCarthy. They're pointless. They have no relevancy. They're just good foot soldiers.
Yeah. But they must think that if they're voting for McCarthy, they must think, I am showing some serious loyalty right now, and they are going to appreciate it, and they're gonna set me up because of it.
So next up would be Matt Gaetz. Everyone knows how he's going to vote.
Yep, Donalds.
Then Good and Gosar. What are we at here? We're at 8 already for Donalds. So another Republican not there. Now Garbarino. So this is actually hurting McCarthy. So there's 2 Republicans that haven't voted. I got to do the quick math here. So Jeffries is at 212 votes. So roughly, I think Republicans can't afford to lose like a dozen people. They can't lose a dozen people on the floor. I think I got that math right on the fly. Not to be confused with a Hall of Fame football player, Tony Gonzalez.
Jeffries. Good of Virginia. Donald.
So far has been disciplined by the conservatives. We'll just end it at go, sir.
McCarthy.
Although it is kind of interesting to see Harris's vote, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Here's Gosar.
Donald.
That's 10.
Gottheimer.
Should we wait for Harris?
Jeffries.
Sure.
All right, we'll wait for Harris, and then we'll shut this down because young Jesse's got to get going.
Graves of Louisiana. McCarthy. Graves of Missouri. McCarthy.
After Harris, it goes into L's. Paulina Luna.
McCarthy. Green of Texas. Jeffries.
Said Black Lives Matter. Voted for Hakeem Jeffries. It's like,
McCarthy.
it's like, are we gonna get a? I mean, doesn't Byron's life matter?
Yeah, right.
Jeffries. Grothman. Grothman.
Wonder who that is talking to McCarthy right now.
McCarthy. Guthrie. McCarthy. Hageman. McCarthy. Carter of California. Jeffries. Harris. Donald.
All right. Let's. Would you just go to C-SPAN? We don't need the audio, just so people can see the vote tally. I have 11 votes right now for Donald's. It's because Harris was, or not Harris, Cloud wasn't on the floor voting. Are they really that far behind? Yeah, they haven't got to Harris. Yeah, they haven't got to Harris yet. So basically, once again, fourth ballot, and we don't have a Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. I'm sorry, this is a fifth ballot. So fifth ballot, and Kevin McCarthy is still not going to get the votes for Speaker of the House, although he is squatting in the office. That's interesting.
Yep.
Just shows you how this stuff is all scripted out in Washington, D.C. Kind of is in St. Paul, too. So they've already given him the office. He has failed to achieve the votes. In fact, he's not even leading in the votes, right? Jeffries is leading the votes. So this is really cool. I would imagine, Jesse, what they're going to do after this is they're going to take a recess or adjourn to another day. There's work that needs to be done. They're not moving people on the floor. And so I think this is a good spot to end because, honestly, I just don't see anything else happening here.
Yeah, no, I don't see anything else happening either. I mean, it will be interesting to see, and hopefully they can continue this, but I'm sure that McCarthy and his wing of people want to just end it and deal with it tomorrow.
Right. All right. Unless something else happens, what we'll do is we'll come back to you live tomorrow, 11 o'clock possibly, I guess, would be when they would adjourn till. We do want to talk about the media's reaction to DeMar. What's DeMar's last name? Why is this on my mind? Hamlin? What's his last name? Is it Hamlin? Is that right?
I'm not even sure.
Oh, my God, the Bills player who had a tragic cardiac arrest. Yeah, Hamlin. I don't know why it didn't sound right for me. I mean, obviously, DeMar Hamlin's not someone most people knew because I think he was a backup safety. So seems like a great guy, and is one of the great stories about his fundraising event, his charity for toys for underprivileged kids has now set new records because everyone's like showing support. In fact, I donated to it. I felt great about doing that. My wife and I want to do it. Anyhow, it's fascinating the media's reaction, just basically coming out and saying, well, it's obviously not the vaccine. It's like, well, we don't know that.
Yeah.
We don't know it's the vaccine, by the way. It's just that the fact that they rule out right, the rule out it is not science. And I heard this great saying today. It's like something that can be questioned is science. Something that can't be questioned is propaganda. It's so true, right? So anyhow, we want to talk about that. Tomorrow also there is a rally at the Capitol. Mike Bashowski's going to be speaking at. That's at 2 o'clock, I believe. So we will probably be back at 11. We usually are trying to do our shows at 1 o'clock, but we want to obviously bring this live coverage, and that's where I think this is going. Follow us on Twitter. Over there, follow us on Twitter. It's, what is it, action_liberty, right there on the bottom of our screen. And then also on Rumble, the Truth Hurts Show. This is the problem. I'm going 2 hours live. What are we, 2 hours, 15 minutes in live? I need a break. I need a break going live, you know?
Yeah.
If you're watching on Rumble right now, don't forget to subscribe to this new channel
Yes.
to bring you this show.
New channel on Rumble. Please subscribe. Get a Rumble account. We're on Twitter. We're still on Facebook, but let's just be honest. Facebook throttles the hell out of us.
Definitely.
They do not like us on Facebook. In fact, they got rid of one of our accounts. Like, we have started new. So Twitter under Elon Musk seems to be going the right direction, and Rumble seems to be they haven't given us any strikes, and YouTube's given us 3. So at least they're pro free speech right now. So we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you very much for tuning in to The Truth Hurts.